I'm officially on vacation, which is nice.
Staycation?
It is.
Vacation.
We're going to Vancouver, Canada, and then we're going to Seattle. Just going to hang out. That's some national parks down
Oh, that's
there.
going to be awesome.
You know me and those national parks. We do those national parks, right? You know
Yeah.
me.
You camping or what?
Parks. I would, but my wife doesn't like that kind of stuff.
You clamping?
I would totally get a camper and just like drive around.
Right.
But it's a lot of work. You know, you gotta like
it is.
drive it, and you gotta plug in the poop things and everything. And it's a lot. So we're just gonna get hotels.
Hotels, okay.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. Lots of seeing a lot of cool stuff, and it's actually where I think where we're at is kind of close to where Logan was. What was Logan filmed? What was it taking place in?
It looked like Yosemite,
but it was kind of close to the Mexican border, right?
The beginning part was close to the Mexican border, and then the end was supposedly near the northern border.
Yes, that's a lot of driving.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So Logan, I can't believe we've never done this movie.
I never ever saw it until last night.
Yeah, we've done this podcast for a long time, and we've never done this movie. There's probably a couple of comic movies we've never done, right?
Yeah, we haven't done Green Lantern.
We haven't done any DC. We have done no DC movies.
We did. We did Lego Batman.
No, that doesn't count as a movie.
Okay.
You know.
Yeah.
Doesn't count as an actual film.
No, you loved it. You loved it.
No, I really did.
You liked it though.
I don't know if I liked it either.
You were pleasantly surprised.
Was that raw into COVID? Was that in the?
It could have been. It could have been. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't like anything at that point. So Logan's an interesting movie for a couple different reasons. One, it is arguably the best X-Men Wolverine movie they've ever made. Two, it's super violent, which probably helps it be a good movie. And then three, it's a standalone flick. Like here's the deal. I know
me and my standalone flicks.
No,
I love them. I think they're usually the best.
And like, here's why I like standalone movies the best. You don't have to worry about building up to something else or worrying about the past.
Right.
You have one thing, you focus on it, you get it done, and you move on. There's a bunch of great standalone movies. Like, my favorite standalone movie of all time is Joe versus the Volcano, which is a fantastic film. You've seen that, right?
No, that's one I've never seen.
I've never seen Ferris Bueller.
I know. I was getting ready to bring that up. We had this conversation.
You've never seen Joe versus Volcano, so we're even. And so I think one of the biggest problems for movies like Logan is, can you make this movie and not give in to the sequel maniacs who think that you need to make a sequel every time you have a movie? And I think they did a pretty good job. They didn't make a sequel for this, and I feel like it was that they should have. I think this should have been Hugh Jackman's swan song for Wolverine. This should have been the end of the Wolverine movie for him. It should have been done. Of course, we know that's not true, but I think it should have been. To be honest with you, but fantastic flick from beginning to end. I don't know how much I don't know. I didn't enjoy the violence of it. It was just kind of too bloody, and like, you don't really understand how violent and nasty Wolverine is until you see his claws go through someone's head. And
there was a lot of his claws going through someone's head.
Lots of claws going through heads. I'm like, and like beheadings and stuff like that. And I'm like, none of the other X-Men movies could do Wolverine justice because they were never able to do that.
Was this rated R? It had to be, right?
It absolutely was rated R, yeah. And it was directed by the same guy who did The Wolverine. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
The same guy, James Mangold.
James Mangold. Yeah, I'm looking at his name right now.
He also directed He also directed 310 to Yuma, the remake
Oh, okay.
with which I absolutely love that movie. And he's pretty good. And like I just kind of I have a mixed feelings about the bloodiness and the gore of this because on the one hand, without it, you can't have this movie. But on the other hand, it's like, is that just Wolverine, like a violent movie? I guess it is, right?
It's got to be, right? I mean, he's got claws and he slashes people a lot. That's kind of Wolverine
Is that why?
in a nutshell, right?
Is that why none of the other Wolverine movies worked? Like, if the other Wolverine movies were rated R and were just this gory, do you think they would have been
I don't
better?
think so. I think the Wolverine could have been good at its violence level without, it had other problems. It didn't need to be more violent. And was that the Japanese one?
Yeah.
Okay, the Wolverine I was thinking Wolverine Origins.
That was
X-Men Origins Wolverine. Yeah, that had its own problems, but its violence level was okay, I think. And the same for the Wolverine. Like I think the Wolverine was actually a really good movie up until the end.
Yeah, and like I think there's a couple things that this movie decided not to do. It decided not to be a superhero movie. It decided to be sort of like its own thing, its own genre. I think you could call it a Western. I think a Western would fit more than anything else.
Yeah.
And it decided not to worry about the whole superhero, supervillain thing as much. It's just kind of focused on a very tight story looking at Logan and the end of his life. Like, this movie is about his death. And like, you have to kind of come into knowing that. Like, you're not going to enjoy this movie thinking that he's going to make it. Like, the whole idea is this guy's 170 years old. This is the end of his story.
Yeah.
So let's just see how it plays out. And then like, I actually was thinking about this the other day. Not the other day, like yesterday. You had Wolverine, Logan, James Howlett, and you had the clone of him, X-24, and you had X-23. So you had 3 different versions of Wolverine. Like, and like at the very end, you had like the movie showing you
what is Wolverine? He's X.
The clone of Wolverine's X-24.
Yeah, but I just mean Wolverine. He's just X, right? He's X1.
Yeah, I'll call what?
He's X1, right?
No. So Wolverine. So you got Logan.
Yeah.
You got the little girl, and she's X-23, and then you got
she's X-23, 23.
Yes, she's X-23.
23-23.
Not 2 23s. No, she's X-23.
It said X-23-23 on the
There's
screen.
no 2. Well, it's just one. It's just don't worry about the other 23.
This was when they were looking at like the they were looking at a sheet of paper. It said the source DNA for X-23-23 was James Howlett.
That's Logan, yeah.
So it's James Logan Howlett?
No. James Howlett was his birth name. That's what he was born with.
Okay.
And then he was named Logan later.
Gotcha.
You know that stuff.
I do not know that stuff. Nope.
Do we ever talk about
it? You may have, but stuff like that's not going to stick in my head.
That's true. So anyway, and like, so you got an interesting dynamic. You got the murderous, animalistic, killer X-24 Wolverine.
Yeah, Wolverine without a soul. That's what they were trying to do.
Yes, very good. And you got the Wolverine with a soul, and then you got this little girl who has to decide what she wants to be.
Right.
And it's at the very end. I think it's cool how they did that. It's like, okay, fans, which one do you want? Who do you want? And you got all 3. And I thought it was kind of tragic that Professor X died thinking that Logan killed him. You know, I hate that. I hate that. And I think it was. Yeah,
did he?
And I just think
maybe.
I hope not. I hope he knew the truth.
Yeah.
And just like there's a couple things about this movie I have a problem with, but the idea that
I gotta come out and say it. I think it's overrated.
What?
This movie? Yeah.
What?
I mean, it's a good movie. It's a good movie, but I don't think it's like it's been built up. Like it's highly rated, but I think it's overrated.
Yeah. You think it's overrated?
It's not that good.
Please give me 3 reasons why you think this is overrated.
Like the Wolverine I enjoyed more than this, I think, up until the very end.
But this is a better complete film.
I guess.
A better complete package.
Guess, yeah.
Yes. Without a doubt. The story.
But like, there's you're watching this movie and you're like, what, how did we get here? We're in like post-apocalyptic America. Where are the rest of the X-Men? None of that.
They explained all that. They explained all that.
Did they?
Yes.
Okay. Where are the rest of the X-Men? Oh, wait. Well, that's right. They used the Caliban to sniff them out, and then the Mercs killed them all, right?
No, it was inferred that Professor X had his first seizure, and it killed all the X-Men at the mansion. It was
his first seizure?
Yeah, his first seizure, where he has those crazy seizures. The first one he ever had. Killed.
When did they say that? I totally missed that.
They didn't say it outright. They just kind of
was it like at the beginning of the movie, or
no? It happened after the second when the Mercs found them, and Professor X had a seizure, and then Wolverine was like that. After that, there was a mention in the radio report that was similar to something that happened in Westminster, New York, and then they put. But you have to.
Radio chatter. No, I wouldn't have caught that. I don't know. Yeah. Okay.
But here's the deal: the X-Men have too much weight to bring into this movie.
Why is it a post-apocalyptic America? Because this isn't normal America, is it?
Well, I mean, it could be in a couple of years.
What's the deal with getting a boat and going on to the Sunseeker and all that?
They wanted to go away.
That's it. I thought there was more to it. It's just his retirement plans is a boat.
What's your? That's my retirement.
A boat?
Not really. I don't want to be on a boat. I don't know what I want to do. But okay. So listen.
I thought there was. I don't know. I figured the boat would help them somehow with something.
Listen, this movie has to be vague and specific at the same time. So it can't give you all the details.
I kept waiting for it to explain that stuff, but I never got.
It can't do it.
Yeah.
And it doesn't want to give a hint that's connected to the Bryan Singer X-Men. But
well, at the same time, I don't blame it.
You know, and so it just has to be its own thing. It has to be a little art house Wolverine. I consider this an alternate universe.
I would agree with that. I believe it is.
I don't connect it to any of the other properties.
Yeah, I believe so.
By itself. But that being said, the realistic idea there's one thing I don't think is realistic, and there's one thing I do think is realistic.
Okay.
The first thing I think is realistic is a government agency or some kind of corporation abusing children as mutants. That would totally happen. I don't even I just couldn't imagine. Imagine if the governments of this world knew that 1 in 100 people have superhuman abilities. Good Lord. We would have superhuman mutants flying over. They would genetically modify everything. It would be a disaster.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think that it would be possible to contaminate the food source to stop mutants from being born. That doesn't.
Was that part of the story too?
Yeah, that's why there was no mutants.
So I knew there were supposedly no mutants for 25 years, but I didn't know why.
It was at the very end. You blink and you will miss it. But
you're filling in all the holes in this movie.
Hey, that's what I do. I go back to my original roots. But this is not possible. Because you have to make sure that every food source across the planet was contaminated.
Right. What's the deal with all the people that are off the grid and they're eating their own foods?
Off the grid. People who don't. This countries in Asia and Africa who don't connect to our food network. It's not possible. And so it's that was I think they should have kept that vague. And then it would have been cool if it was revealed that a mutant was born. That would have been neat.
Yeah, it could have been just something for some reason we don't know why. No one knows why, but no mutants for 25 years.
Well, it's interesting during the House of M when Wanda Maximoff said no more mutants and got rid of almost all the mutants on the planet. A mutant was born named Hope Summers, and she actually it was actually a big significant.
Let me guess, she is somehow related to Scott Summers.
No, the Summers adopted her, so she is not related to them by blood. Yeah. You know what her mutant power is?
No.
The ability to use other mutants' powers.
Okay. How is that useful when there's no other mutants?
Well, you don't have any powers then, I guess.
Right.
Well, yeah. So anyway, going back to Logan. But that's my only complaint. I thought the action sequences were fantastic.
Action sequences were really good. Some of them looked a little video gamey.
Look what? Which one?
Some of the Laura stunts were a little video gamey.
Well,
some of them were really, really impressive. Like I dug the tiny Wolverine stunt work, but just some of it looked like not as bad as Blade 2 or 3 or whatever it was, but you could tell that it wasn't a real person, that it was like some kind of CGI thing.
I think it was kind of brutal to see her kill people and then see the children kill Pierce at the end like that. It was kind of brutal. It's like, I don't want to see kids kill people.
Hey, is Pierce to you from the comics? Or?
Yes, he is. I don't know if I put that in the show notes. I don't think I did. He's from the comics. Yep, he's connected to the Hellfire Club in a loose way, but so are the Reavers, which is like my least favorite bad guy.
The Reavers, those are the marks in this movie.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you about them because I figured they were just generic mercenaries, but looking at the top cast in IMDb, they actually have names like Mohawk, Macon, Bonebreaker, and Pretty Boy.
Yeah, but they're generic. I mean, there's hundreds of generic groups of mercenaries in Marvel comics. Just grab one.
Right.
But the Reavers are actually ones that fought the X-Men. They actually they have a pretty interesting storyline in when Bishop first shows up in Uncanny X-Men. I think the Sentinels kill all the Reavers, if I'm not mistaken. Because the Reavers were modifying their bodies to try to mimic mutant abilities. I think the mutant.
Well, yeah, Pierce has a robotic hand.
Yeah,
pretty cool hand.
No, I don't think so. I don't think it's.
Well, his fingers can bend backwards and forwards.
Okay, that's fine.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah. But I mean, I feel you when you say this is overrated. I don't think so. I think this movie's properly rated. It just kind of makes me sad that they actually they're making Deadpool Wolverine now. It's just like, do you really want to do this?
Is Dr. Rice was he the bad doctor in this movie?
Did you watch this movie, correct?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, he's the bad guy.
The question I'm getting ready to ask you, I'll bet you didn't get.
Okay, what is that?
I'm just now noticing that the actor that played Dr. Rice also played Old Loki in the Loki series.
Oh, yeah, that's the same actor, yeah.
Yeah.
I know that now in retrospect.
Yes. Now that I told you, you know that.
Mm-hmm. On a side note, I watched the last episode of Loki season 2 again. Just
so good.
It's really good. It stands out really good.
Yeah.
What's your? So I already praised this movie enough, but what's your complaints besides?
I don't even know storytelling. I guess I don't know.
What are you talking about? What do you mean?
Well, like you've helped it out a lot. Like if you were given notes on it and you're like, hey, we need to make this a little bit more clear. We need to make this a little bit more clear. Maybe I would have liked the movie better. I'm not saying it's bad. I did enjoy watching the movie.
Are you a 2-screen?
No,
viewer?
I am not.
Are you a 2-screener?
I am not. I do not do that. However, I will say, it's just overrated. It's not as good as everybody says it is. I was expecting way more.
It's better than any.
I was expecting John Wick
movie,
the Wolverine movie, and I didn't get that.
I've never seen.
Okay, John Wick's better than this.
I should watch a few. I probably should watch a John Wick.
Yeah, you should. You should watch the first one.
We're going on a flight.
There you go.
Maybe I should download one and watch it on the flight.
Good opportunity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying it's a bad movie. I'm just saying it's overrated.
It's the best.
Things can be good and overrated.
Ever made. Hey, if you take all the X-Men movies, which we've watched all of them now, except for Deadpool 3, But if you take all the X-Men movies, which we watched, this is number 1. And this is number 2 in my book. Number 1 would be X-Men Days of Future Past. Then it would be Logan. Then it might be X-Men.
I like First Class.
Okay. I know you do, Mike. I know you like First Class. And I'm not going to make fun of you for liking that movie. It's fine. Let's take a second while we have this. And let's talk
I'm just
about
saying,
X-Men
being
movie.
the best X-Men movie that's not
that's true.
Not a high bar.
You got a really good point. And if you look at all of them, they made a lot.
Yeah.
And if you look at all of them, none of them are to the point where you're like, man, this was great. Like it was just
like none of them are like, man, I gotta watch that again and again.
For the effort they put into it with the storytelling, the actors, and the productions and everything else, all of them were just kind of middle of the road. I guess the kids call them mid now.
Yeah, they're so mid.
I don't like that. It sounds stupid when you say it, but it
makes sense though.
It makes sense, but you sound stupid when you say it. I don't like the idea of making a word as short as possible because you just can't have the effort to say the full thing.
Well, what about midterm?
What about midterm?
Hello?
We have midterms.
Are you still there? Hello?
Mike, you there? Are you there? Mike, I think after we've watched all the X-Men movies, we've watched all the Wolverine movies, we've watched everything. I think we might be missing New Mutants, which I don't really.
Yeah, I'm kind of scared to watch that. It looks scary. It looks scary. The trailer, I don't dig the trailer.
And it has that woman in there that I don't like. That one actor.
Okay.
She plays Lialia. She has those big old eyes. I don't know. Anyway, but I think we can have a quick discussion about the X-Men movies as a whole. And I think as a whole, you have to remember what was going on with comic book movies before the X-Men, which is nothing. There was Blade,
right?
The Matrix came out, and then X-Men came out. And without the X-Men, Spider-Man wouldn't have came out. And it was kind of a proof of concept that can a studio make a high budget, good comic book movie, and would people go and watch it? And it was enthusiastic, yes, but I never really felt like the X-Men movies lived up to their potential.
I agree. Totally agree.
I mean, if you look at the X-Men 97 animated series,
none of them are as good as the first Blade, including this one,
not at all.
Including Logan.
Yeah, and
including Logan.
Logan's pretty good. Logan's pretty good.
Not as good as Blade,
but there's been a lot of efforts to get the X-Men train right, but I just feel like no one really took seriously the level of hatred and discrimination that mutants would face here on Earth if they were real. And I don't think anyone really had the patience or desire to really go down that road. I think the closest they've got to it was X-Men Days of Future Past, but even that felt a little sanitized. Like it never really showed us exactly what a world like that would be like. And the X-Men comics, and especially X-Men 97, they had no problem going into the rough parts of what war would be like. So I kind of feel like the X-Men movies never really did it as good as it could. I mean, I think Logan came close, but still, none of them did a great job.
Mm-hmm. Logan's almost divorced from the X-Men. It's not even really an X-Men movie. Yeah, it's not about X-Men.
Kinda. It's about mutants.
Is it?
Stuff like that.
I mean, it is, but is it?
Well, he's a mutant, and he's working and saving mutants.
I don't feel any of the...
It's really hard to say.
Any of the analogs that I should be filling in this movie. Maybe they're there. I don't know.
And, I mean, the biggest problem is when Logan's coming out and the other X-Men movies are coming out, they're competing against the Marvel movies, which are just better budget, better written, and more interesting as far as like the stories and engagement. So like, if you compare the Marvel movies to the X-Men movies, they never go sync up correctly. It's such an interesting thing too now that Marvel has all the rights to the X-Men. and it's taken them forever to do anything with them for live action. But they did such a great job with the animated
Right.
X-Men. I don't see a world. I don't see a world anytime soon where we get a live action X-Men. I don't see it.
I sincerely hope they're working on it.
I don't think so. Like, what would it even look like right now? You know, who would be like? What would it?
All new cast.
You know, and I guess I guess so. Like, I think, and we're kind of not. I don't like saying that we're culturally stagnant
because it seems like
depressed.
Deadpool and Wolverine is going to be Hugh Jackman's last Wolverine showing.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's going to be a huge hit. It's going to make a lot of money. People are going to watch it. But like, I wouldn't even put Deadpool into the category of the X-Men. It's a joke.
I'm not saying it is an X-Men movie. I'm just saying the reason it would be an all new cast is like your biggest cast member is going to be done in a few days. You know.
But I mean, there's so many great X-Men stories to tell. And they can always recast Wolverine.
Absolutely, yeah. Daniel Radcliffe.
I think that's the fan favorite, but there's probably some unnamed guy out there, just like Hugh Jackman was unnamed when he took the role that could fit it. So don't be like I would totally like them to just do a wide casting net to find people who look the part.
Sure, but I think Daniel Radcliffe could do it.
Yeah, he could. I don't know if he would or want to. And plus, like, how old was Hugh Jackman when he took the part?
I don't know, but isn't I mean, Wolverine's kind of the elder statesman of the X-Men, isn't he?
I don't know. It's hard to say. I mean, there's so many really good X-Men characters that we've never seen on screen, and Wolverine.
Yeah, but you can't not have Wolverine in an X-Men movie. I don't think. Maybe you can. I mean,
they did. We've seen a couple without him. X-Men Dark Phoenix.
I mean, he was in it.
Oh yeah, he was. No,
wasn't he in it?
No, he
wasn't. Did he have a cameo in that?
No, not Dark Phoenix. He was the one before that. X-Men Apocalypse. He was made a cameo.
Yeah. Okay.
But I mean,
and First Class, he had a good cameo in that too.
Yeah. But to wrap it up, I mean, I feel good about the X-Men movies. I'm actually like thinking about maybe downloading one from a plane trip coming up soon. Maybe,
which one?
I don't know which one I would watch.
That's the problem. That's the problem.
That's the problem. Like, but I'm having that same problem with Marvel movies too.
You need to watch John Wick. We talked about this earlier in this podcast episode.
That's true. This is definitely one recording session.
Yes, right. It's not. This isn't recorded over 2 days because of technical difficulties at all.
Yeah. Nope. But I've had the same problem with the Marvel movies too. I went through the whole Disney catalog to see if there's anything I wanted to watch again. Yeah. Nothing interests me, and so maybe I'm burned out a little bit. Maybe those movies don't age that well. I'm really hoping that's not true. I mean, there's so much work and time put into all the superhero movies. Right. But maybe I'm just kind of like, I've seen all these before. Maybe I'm waiting for something else. But anyway, that is Logan. I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as we did. I really enjoyed it. Mike, next up, we're going to do Deadpool 3. That comes out July 26th.
That's right.
And we're planning to record that weekend. It comes out, so hopefully. All right, Mike.
Hey. Before we get into that, I got a few things. I think.
Uh-oh.
Hang on. Yeah, I think I've got a few things. All right.
For news?
No. This is Logan related. Logan related.
Oh, okay. We're still on Logan.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
all right. Go ahead.
At the very beginning of the movie, Logan's having trouble getting up his claws. Thought that was kind of neat.
Yeah.
Can't get them up.
Yep. I mean, the reason for that is because of his age. And like his muscles,
and something's poisoning him. What did that? The antimantium bullet.
The metal. No, the metal in his body. His bones are laced with antimantium, and it's killing him.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Over time, it's just over time. Imagine having every inch of your skeleton coated in a metal.
I guess. I guess that would be kind of bad.
It's going to cause. Yeah, I mean, it's going to cause. I mean, I don't even understand physically how he could live for that long. I mean, his bones are encased in the metal. Don't the bones have to?
I think they do.
The
Yeah,
marrow,
I think they have to. Yeah, they're living organisms, right? Or not organisms,
so that's
but
what's killing them.
They're living organs.
Yeah. So a certain amount of time. It's only a matter of time before it would be killing him.
The license plate for the Chrysler that he drives is WER119. Does that mean anything to you?
WER. No.
I don't know. I was thinking the WER is kind of like werewolf.
No.
Wolverine's kind of like a werewolf. I don't know.
I think 119 was his number. His number for his his dog tags, maybe?
Could be.
But that's I doubt that. I don't think that's a big deal.
Okay. What do you think of the auto trucks in this movie?
Realistic? I think we'll get those.
Yeah, and they'll work about as well as they did in this movie.
Yeah. Who cares? Like, I told my boss the other day, I was like, be careful. Like, capitalism will find more ways to make money. So at a certain point, we're all going to be unemployed, and robots will be doing our jobs. That's just be.
What do you think of the black family in this movie?
It made me sad that what happened to them, but also it had to happen to reinforce something for Logan, which is everywhere I go, death follows. I shouldn't be around anyone. I'm dangerous, which is actually pretty true. And so I think that was like kind of a moment for him where he was trying to do something good and just turned wrong, and he's just kind of self-reflecting, like what am I? Like who am I? Why am I doing this? He's had such a long, violent life that the end of it is just sad that the end of his life was so violent. But that's kind of how the world was for him.
Okay. Yeah, I just thought it was strange and sad that they're introduced and then, not much later they're all dead.
Well, I mean, anybody who's taken the creative writing class would know what was going to happen to those people. I mean, you don't add new characters unless you know something's going to happen to them.
Yeah.
There's no point in adding characters unless things happen to them. Like this, like movies and stories are not real. The characters in them are just pawns to the storytelling.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, at a certain point, you should be like, well, these guys are all going to die, or at least one of them will.
Okay, cool. One of your show notes is super cool that Rictor is in this.
Yeah, Rictor. He's a new mutant.
Who the heck is Rictor?
He's the little kid. He was one of the little kids in the movie. He was kind of the leader.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he has seismic abilities, so he can cause like the earthquakes and stuff. I don't know if he causes earthquakes or if he causes like. I'm not sure if it's sonic or seismic.
Well, that would go with his name, Rictor, like the Richter scale.
Yeah, I think they've always been seismic activity, which is like he can cause like earthquakes and stuff like that. Yeah, he's really cool. He's been around the X-Men for a long time. He's not my favorite character, but I really like him a lot.
Okay, all right, cool. That's all I got.
Yeah, Logan, good movie.
That's okay.
All right, news you can abuse. Mike, do you have Agatha All Along queued up?
I do. It's been a while since we've done this.
Yeah, we're going to live react. So let me know when you're ready.
I'm ready.
3, 2,
1.
Launch. All right.
Oh, this is a FBI cop procedural show.
I think it wants.
I would love it if it was.
I see. I'm curious.
Give me Wanda, 7 episodes of this and one where she's actually a witch.
See, hey, Wanda put a spell on her to make her kind of like a part of this community, be somebody she's not. So that she finds a dead body, and I guess she's a cop. We don't know. Whatever. Now look at her feet. If you remember her feet, look at this. Watch this. So is that Wanda's body?
That's what I was thinking. Is maybe in this daydream or whatever, it's Wanda's body. So we see Aubrey Plaza.
I don't think it's a daydream. Yeah, she is. I'm sure she's going to take up all the oxygen in the screen, as always. This is really good. I like this a lot.
We get a return of the black and white Agatha.
Yeah, that's really good. Yeah. So apparently, like, Wanda took her powers away, and I think the whole episode is going to be about her getting her powers back. You know, it's got a lot of since she can't have her powers. Got a lot of witch stuff going on. The hexagon, which is really good. Oh, that's scary.
Like a Dracula bat type thing.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. We have a lot of cool actresses in here. I mean, actors in here. A lot of good stuff. But as far as the story is concerned, I have no idea. It started off with like a cop drama, but then it went kind of weird.
Yeah.
I think they're just going to do whatever they want. So don't let's not put too much into it. Lots of cool color effects.
Yeah.
But it's kind of going all over the place. I don't see any other Marvel characters, but I'm sure there's a couple of weird ones.
If there are, they wouldn't have put them in this first trailer, I don't think.
I'm going to have to look a little bit to see what's going on. We got Ouija board, more witch stuff.
Agatha All Along.
It's pretty spooky. Yeah, it comes out September, blah, 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 blah. And
they're saying this Halloween season.
Yeah, look at that. That's so scary looking.
Yeah, crawling upside down.
Yeah. Spider walking.
2 episode premiere September 18th.
I'm down. And it's definitely going to last to October, right? October 31st?
Yes, seems like
it has to. Yeah. All right. That's going to be fun. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, we will watch this and talk about it every week. It'll be fun.
That's going to be good.
And that's the only thing we're going to probably be getting as far as Marvel television this year.
That's right. Yeah.
Man, slim pickings. All right. So next week we've got Deadpool. Not next week.
Next up.
We got next time.
Yes.
Next up, we got Deadpool 3.
Deadpool and Wolverine.
Is it called? Is the official title Deadpool?
The official title is Deadpool and Wolverine. Yep.
All right. So, Mike, how can our listeners share our podcast with people so they can listen to us, so they can hear our awesome stuff as we always
hit that share button. Share it with your friends and family. You're probably, if you're like most people, you're probably going to a private school with other people that have special abilities, much like your own. Share it with all those people. I mean, that's normally how people go to school, right?
I guess. Yeah. I didn't go to private school.
The X-Men, Harry Potter.
Yeah.
You know.
I guess that's the fantasy, right? Like, hey, I don't want to go to public school. I'm going to go to
I want to go to a special school with special people.
Well, all teenagers feel like they're different than everyone else, and all teenagers feel like they're special. Right. So that's kind of how the whole thing works.
So do that.
And then you get older and you realize that you're not special, which is good because you don't want to be. You want to be normal. I just want to blend in, pay my taxes, and that's it. Well, thanks for listening, everyone. We'll see you guys.
And I cannot wait for Deadpool and Wolverine.
I can't wait.
You're going to come back and you're gonna be like you're gonna be fawning over that movie.
I'm going to try to see the earliest showing, so no children will be in the audience with me.
Yeah, hopefully.
When I mean children, I mean like 19.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, hopefully there's no young children at this movie. Although they're going to be
anywhere. Yeah, it won't be anywhere.
Are you getting the popcorn bucket
next time? Yeah, of course.
Yeah, the Deadpool popcorn bucket.
No, I'm not going to buy a special bucket.
Not either. Not doing that.
A bucket of popcorn and a drink and just sit there for 2.5, almost 3 hours.
Right. All right. We'll talk about that then.